Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2001 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Up front is a 3.0 liter V6 that has been turbocharged, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. It is owned by my good friend Hubert. He's going to be joining me for this review because I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm driving it. And what should we do, third?
Yeah, third.
It's so fun! Oh my god! Oh, it has all the right sounds of the V6, but it has the fun of a boosted car. It really is the best of both worlds. Now, before we get too much into it, I'm just gonna run through the interior because not a whole lot of it's stock, and we'll just get it out of the way. In front of me, I have a couple different gauges. On the far left is my fuel, then I have my speedometer, tachometer on the right, and coolant temperature on the right. Stock steering wheel with nothing on it but cruise control, gotta love that. To the left of me, I just have my window switches, fog light switches, and in the center, I actually do get a digital clock, which I like. 2 vents, a radio that has since been changed out, climate controls, shifter, which was in automatic originally, but now it is manual swap, so that's why on the dash it does still have the Prindle. Seats are NRG. They are very nice. They are big guy friendly, which I really, really like. And it used to have back seats, but now it doesn't. Now that all of that's out of the way, let's talk about the motor. What motor is in here?
It's a 3-liter 6G72, forged internals, still a stock block, but yeah, forged internals. Obviously a bunch of upgraded goodies. You got 8.8 to 1 compression, forged pistons, upgraded bearings. Still a stock cam. Yeah, so
it's a single overhead cam, right?
Yes, it is single overhead cam. Yep.
Okay. And what turbo?
Garrett GT 3071R. So it is considered to be a big turbo, but it is a fairly small compressor wheel.
And any reason for picking that turbo? Just
no. To be honest, came with the car, came with the package of parts I had. I'm like, all right, we're putting that on there. And
because you were telling me last night, we took this out last night, you said that there's not a lot of aftermarket support for this.
Nope.
If you want to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, all the turbo piping, all the hot side piping, pretty much any intercooler piping, it's got to be all custom made. There aren't any kits or anything available for that. Back in the day, I think there was one company that put out kits, but they're not around anymore. They haven't been around for quite some time. RIP did used to make supercharger kits for these, also back in the day, not around anymore. So everything now has got to be made, you know, all to spec. So most of the turbo piping, some of the stuff was here, but ultimately I had the car up on a lift for about 2 days. Tore all the piping apart and re-welded it to my liking with a buddy of mine. Huge thanks to him. Ben Rido's got a badass Supra. You know, check him out on the gram. But yeah, I mean, pretty much had to redo a lot of the piping.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're good. Way too fun, couldn't resist.
Oh my gosh. What I love about this and what I love about V6 turbos is that they make torque. You know, Subarus and Mazda Speed 3s, they're so gutless down low, but we're cruising in 4th and I barely hit the gas and we're feeling it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And the noises, man.
The noises,
the turbo flutter. Now, did you do the manual swap yourself, or
No.
it came?
Yeah, so I bought the car already manual swapped. A lot of the turbo setup was put together, but the car did need a lot of extra attention just because a gentleman who had it before me ultimately didn't have the time, you know, to sacrifice on the car. I did see he was lacking a little bit of electrical knowledge as well, so that's why, you know, the whole ECU, wiring, all that stuff kind of came into play.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about the ECU, because you're running 2 ECUs.
Correct. So, oh man, this gets really complicated. So rather than hacking up the whole original harness, because previously the car was on just a stock automatic ECU with a piggyback. The piggyback was only good to make adjustments on that stock ECU for up to about 5 pounds. I mean, ultimately a piggyback is just a box full of resistors that skews signals. Ultimately you can use a program called ECU Flash to you know, make any adjustments you need, just as a regular, you know, tuner would, just all on the stock ECU. And that's, you know, all those tuning capabilities are all right there. So ultimately we had to put in a manual ECU because we've got a little bit different of a processing board that lets you rewrite the actual the file of your flash to see, you know, more than 100% load, so ultimately boost. So, you know, I've got a manual ECU running just my engine, and then the automatic ECU running all the other accessories as kind of a fail-safe. That way I wouldn't, you know, if I did mess up the original harness, I could just unplug that and just put my automatic ECU back in on just a stock tune. I mean, it would run rough, but it would run.
Right.
Rather than, you know, having to...
Getting screwed.
Exactly. I mean, you know, it was my first time, you know, doing something so serious as to, you know, that with wiring, so I wanted to kind of take precautionary measures.
So how is it tuning on 2 ECUs?
I literally have the data link connector hooked up just to the manual ECU.
Okay.
So the manual ECU controls everything in my engine. Automatic is all the other accessories. So now ultimately, the way I've got it hooked up, any tuning I've done, or any flashes like that, are just sent to the manual ECU. So then the automatic one is not touched.
Now, one of the things this car does struggle with is traction. We were braking in 3rd gear, braking traction. And so, what are some things that you could kind of change to help get better traction? I know you have plans in the future for an all-wheel drive swap.
Correct. So all-wheel drive swap is definitely the way to go. But as of now, in the front-wheel drive setup, I mean, you're going to do, you know, wider wheels and stick your tires. I do have some Federal, what are they, 232 RSRs, I believe that's what they're called. That's what the tires are up front right now. Yeah, they're not doing it justice, you know, still breaking traction. So obviously, you know, have to get a stickier tire, bigger wheel. But you know, that'll be in the future as well once we're putting down more power.
I have to say, it does feel and sound a lot like a Z31 Nissan, a 300ZX.
Really?
Yeah, I drove a turbo one. Here's our traction.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just every time I drive a turbo V6, it's so good. It's really the best of both worlds because it's still rev happy of a V6, but you get that turbo. So it's like it takes the best parts of a 4-cylinder turbo and the best parts of, I don't want to say a V8, but a higher cylinder count vehicle.
Higher displacement.
Yeah, higher displacement, because you actually get torque at the low end. Oh, yeah. Being a rotary owner, it's still so foreign to me to have torque from the get-go. So it still puts a smile on my face when I have it. Now, a lot of people, 4G63 swap these?
Yeah, the 4-cylinder ones.
Okay. Yeah. So this chassis was offered with a 4-cylinder, but this, of course, is the V6. And I'm very, very happy for that.
Yeah.
You know, I told you this, but I was supposed to get one of these as my first car. It was a convertible, automatic. I think it was a 4-cylinder. Might have been a 6. Oh, man. 4,000 RPM seems to be its sweet spot. It loves that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so tempting. Oh, this is so tempting.
Gun it.
I don't want to get in trouble. I want to get in trouble! Oh, come on, it's so good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Hubert for letting me take this thing out. This thing is absolutely awesome. It's so fun. Oh, man. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
Aside from my soul.